It makes me want to have a bowl. But we drive on because our old Garda commissioner, as I say, he thinks all this criminalisation stuff is great, and he thinks decriminalisation is going to make matters only worse. Do you know? So he thinks somebody getting stopped and searched for €25 worth of cannabis and little nudges is great use of our Garda's time, and that by taking away the supply from criminals, we'll be only making matters worse, because he doesn't believe that the criminals will go away from it. But why is that? Like, you know, you look at prohibition in America of alcohol. Did the criminals stay with alcohol prohibition, or with alcohol after prohibition? No, they didn't. The only criminals who stayed with alcohol after prohibition were the people who would never have been criminals if alcohol wasn't illegal in the first place, because these would have been the respectful, legitimate business people who would come up, you know, and provide the public houses in our communities, you know, rather than what it was before with the speakeasies and the different kind of, maybe the old dodgy people who might have been running these things, like we see today. You've good drug dealers out there, you've got bad drug dealers. Some of them will give you some nice weed, some of them will give you weed that's fucking not even weed. Do you know, you go get edibles off a fella and it might be homemade and it might be good. You go get it off another fella and it might be homemade and it's going to be shocking. Do you know what I mean? There's some Xanax or something in there. And again, which one is going to stick around after one? Which one is going to do good under regulation? Of course, it's the one who's selling quality and following the regulations that will be put in place to protect the consumers, because why would you go back to the bad ones? In fairness, like, if you went to a pub here in Ireland and you got a dodgy pint, I'm sure that'd be the last pub you'd be going back to, because you've got so many others you can choose from. And why would you go back to the one selling you dodgy pints? Like, you know, you just wouldn't. Like, so the old Harris there, like, he's really got his head up his arse on this one. As when he was speaking there last week, he was saying that the term recreational drug use is a dangerous misnomer that hides the irreparable damage that illegal and dangerous drugs cause to the individuals and society. But in reality, sorry Drew, but it's your prohibition that's done the irreparable damage to individuals and our society. Do you know, it's not the drugs that's doing it. Sorry Drew, it's the bloody prohibition. Drew also said that it is no longer the case that such dealing is confined to our cities and urban areas. Yeah, Drew, yeah, you getting that one from the old youth workers against prohibition, because that's what they're saying as well, that yeah, you are failing at your job. You're now launching Operation Tara, which you were announcing last week. For what? What? It's so launching some new operation with a new nice Irish name. Is this coming from your PR crowd? Is that I would say this is coming from their PR crowd to say, look, launch an operation, tell them you're going to tackle the scourge of the nation, drugs. Do you know? Stop. Like, this is your this is what it seems like to me anyway, PR, because nothing's going to change. Like, your Gardaí were already tackling low-level and street-level drug dealers for the last 20 fucking years. And all that's done is actually seeing the rise of organised crime gangs, seeing the spread of drug dealing from the cities to the more rural areas. That's been done under the Gardaí's watch for years. What kind of an insane approach are you taking? Because this is exactly what it is. It's insanity. You're doing the same thing over and over again. You're just changing the name. You're just shining it back up and throwing it back out there, thinking nobody will fucking notice that it's the exact same approach we've been taking for the last 50 years, Drew. And something's got to change. Listen to the youth workers before or against prohibition, rather than just fucking stealing their lines. Because yes, they're acknowledging the fact that drugs are in every town and village around the country, and that the Gardaí can't fucking stop it. This is a war that you are not going to win. And all you're doing now, launching this Operation Tara, dedicating 321 Gardaí to full-time focus on drugs, all you're doing is wasting taxpayers' money and making our communities less safe. Because those 321 Gardaí now are not going to be answering calls for domestic violence. They're not going to be answering rape cases. Do you know, they're not going to be out there dealing with burglaries. They're not going to be doing any of that. Their sole purpose is going to be drugs. Do we want that? Is that money well spent for taxpayers? No, it is not. It makes me want to have a bowl.